Would I buy a GWM Tank 500 having just lived with one for the past 3 months? Absolutely not going to tell you straight away, but you'll find out in this video. Now, if you want to read my full long-term test review of the GWM Tank 500 in this ultra grade, you can go to carsguide.com.au. But if you don't like reading and you just want me to tell you the story, come on in, huddle up, let's go. Oh my eyes, the Tank 500 looks, I'm trying to be polite here, large. And it is at almost 5.1 meters long and nearly 2 meters across and the same amount tall. Its wheelbase is actually identical to the Toyota LandCruiser Prado's. That's its natural enemy in the wild, and it rivals that because this is a large 7-seater SUV with a ladder frame chassis, and that makes it an off-road capable vehicle. It's also a hybrid vehicle. Yes, an off-road hybrid. And that's quite rare, but more on that later. This Tank 500 is the top of the range ultra grade, and that means it gets a plusher looking interior with Napa leather upholstery and a multicolored ambient lighting system with this starry light business going on. Now, I am not a fan of the exterior of the Tank 500. I think it looks awkward and unrefined and very outdated. It's very 1990s. Now, since we have been testing this particular vehicle, GWM has updated the grille, and I've got to say the new grille does look a little bit better than this grille that we've got on our car. But yeah, I still think it looks a little bit simple, unrefined. I don't mind the interior though. I find even this faux wood to be quite stylish. I like the seat design, the dash, the screens. It's not too bad inside. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is the quality. Now, it's hard to tell over the last 3 months if it's going to be durable or not, but one area I have seen unreasonable wear and tear is down here in the footwell, but we weren't given car mats when we were given this car to test. And so my foot, my heel, has actually started to make a hole. It actually has made a hole in the carpet of the footwell. Now, I wear sneakers most of the time when I drive. Rarely ever do I wear heels. So it's just been caused by the heel of my sneaker. So look, I've never experienced that. Even in my own car, which is almost 20 years old, that hasn't happened, and I don't have floor mats. So that's a slight concern. It is good value for money though, and let's talk about price then. Okay, so at the time that we made this video, GWM were doing a drive away deal, and you can see the price on your screen right now. Now, just as a price comparison, a Toyota LandCruiser Prado is about $78,500 drive away. Really? It's up to you. Do you want all the features that this has, which aren't on the Prado, on that entry grade Prado, because this is loaded up with everything, or would you go a Prado with not much equipment? Let me show you the features list and you can decide. This top of the range ultra grade really does come with a lot of features. So say what you like about this car, it is good value for money. Coming standard on the ultra grade are 18-inch alloy wheels, LED headlights and tail lights, privacy glass, proximity unlocking, power side steps, Napa leather upholstery, a 14.6-inch media screen, 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, a head-up display, 3-zone climate control, power adjustable front seats that are heated and ventilated and massaging. Second row seats are ventilated as well. There's a heated steering wheel. There's a 12-speaker Infinity stereo, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless phone charging, a panoramic sunroof, and sunshades. That's a lot. Okay, so the features that we have loved the most over the past 3 months, I would say the proximity unlocking. It's actually really good. You walk over to the car and it unlocks. You don't even have to touch the door handle, and it switches the lights on, and it does a fancy thing with the tail lights. I kind of like that. That's been good. It has a really good stereo. It's an infinity stereo, and the connectivity is quite good as well. So I've loved that as well. What else? Sunshades. Look, when you've got children like we do, it's so important to have the tinted glass, the privacy glass here, and also the sunshades to keep the sun off their faces. Even in wintertime, the sun can be quite harsh. Okay, things I haven't quite liked. Do you know what? The heated seats are a good feature, but they get so hot in the Tank 500 Ultra, like too hot, like burn your bum hot. And there's only one setting, it's just burn your bum hot setting. So you have to turn it off once it reaches boiling point, basically. There are ventilated seats in the back, but not heated seats, which is a bit strange, but that is good as well. Another feature I'm not particularly fond of is this electric side step. It pops in and out when you open and shut the doors. It's supposed to help you get in and out of the car, but actually it makes it more difficult. It's like somebody sticking their foot out and tripping you over. You can turn it off, but when it is on, it's such a hindrance. And there's also, I think, a bit of a safety issue. I want to show you, okay? Watch this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Well, it did seem to sense it, but at the same time, it also broke the carrot. Should we talk practicality? Let's talk practicality. When it comes to practicality, this 7-seater SUV has plenty of room in the second row, but not a lot in the third row. There's climate control, USB ports, plenty of storage as well in the second row, while up front the seats are large, there's wireless phone charging, there's good storage with a space under here, a deep center console box and big door pockets. Do you know what I don't like? I don't like side hinged tailgates. This is a side hinged tailgate. So not only is it heavy because you've got the spare wheel on the back here, so you've got to basically push it to open it, that it doesn't always stay open, especially if you're on a hill. And there's been a couple of times when this has whacked me in the back as I'm trying to load stuff into the car. So you almost have to like lean against it. The other issue with side hinged tailgates is that if someone's parked behind you, you can't get into the boot. And that means, you know, anywhere from the street with parallel parking or car parks at a supermarket. Anyway, let's talk boot space. With all 3 rows up, as you can see, there's not much space here. Just enough, it's staying there. Actually, not even enough really for one of our large suitcases. But when you put these down, and there are automatic function buttons here, you do get a lot more space. There you go. All right, do you want to go for a drive? Let's go for a drive. All right, let's go for a drive. Now, before we start driving, I need to tell you something. This car has sound effects. So when you put it into drive, it makes this like science fiction ray gun sound. It goes like that. And I think that's a bit unnecessary. I do think you're driving a car. You don't need sound effects. So it only does it once the car's been turned off a while, so it might not do it now, but let's have a look. No, it's not going to do it, but we'll have a look a bit later on. So there we go. We'll go into drive. Now there's something really special about the Tank 500, and that is it's a hybrid off-road vehicle, and that's quite rare. Up until only recently, when Toyota announced that it was bringing out a LandCruiser hybrid, there weren't many off-road hybrid vehicles around. So this is quite a unicorn out there. So what you've got a 2-litre petrol engine and an electric motor, and they work together to drive the wheels. Only issue is I don't think it does a very good job of it. First of all, that engine's quite small. This is a very heavy vehicle. It's about 2.6 tons. It's also 4-wheel drive, so it's a proper 4-wheel drive, and it has to work really hard to get that power down. Now there's a lot of power between the motor and the engine. The output is colossal. You can see it on your screen now. Huge, and so is the torque. It's ridiculous. The power and torque looks enormous. But in reality, like I said, it has to rev quite hard, it has to work quite hard to get to that output figure. So I don't think this system is a good one. And I'll talk about fuel economy in a second. All right, what's it like to drive? Now, first of all, most of our driving has been in an urban environment. We live in the city, we've driven it mainly in the city, and we haven't basically gone off-roading. We haven't gone off-roading at all. We've gone up the coast on motorways to the countryside, but we've never actually taken it off the bitumen. Now, if you want to know what it's like off-road, our very own Marcus Crafty Craft, our four-wheel driving guru, has tested it. He's got a black belt in four-wheel driving. In fact, he's going through his grading this weekend. I think he's third, maybe fourth dan four-wheel driving black belt. So if you want to find out what it's like off-road, check out Crafty's reviews. So we're really just talking about what it's like on the road. All right, so here's what's good. The steering is light, it's fairly accurate. The seats are comfortable, even over long distances. And the cabin is quiet for the most part. But those are pretty much the highlights of what has been a pretty ordinary, substandard driving experience in this Tank 500. Now, the biggest issue is the throttle response. And I think it's to do with the hybrid system. It's switching over from petrol engine to hybrid and electric motor. The problem with the throttle response is that when you coast into an intersection, say you're going to be turning right, take your foot off the accelerator and then you reapply it to the accelerator.
Please take a break.
And I'll get to the alerts in a second too. There's a delay. There's a delay in your throttle response. But at other times, when you accelerate, the throttle response is too rapid. In fact, it still continues accelerating even after you've taken your foot off the accelerator pedal, which is really worrying. There's been a couple of times where that's caught me out. I've almost bumped the car in front, and in Crafty's review of the Tank 500, he called that throttle response inconvenient at best and dangerous at worst. And I agree completely. It's a pain, but it's also quite dangerous. Now, GWM has addressed this issue. Late last year, GWM announced that it would recalibrate the powertrain. Our vehicle, though, does not have this recalibration, but new Tank 500s will have it, or if you're an existing owner, you should be able to have that recalibration done for you. Now, another thing as well is that the ride is quite firm. Now, this car has the updated suspension, and it's still not quite right. It's overly firm. Now, these roads are quite patchy. There's lots of potholes and speed bumps, and so the ride is quite firm. It's overly firm. But on top of that, the body control of this car is not good either. So that when you go around a roundabout or over a speed bump or through the twists and turns, you get a bit of wobble, and that's not particularly great either for comfort or for dynamics. Now, I know this car has a ladder frame chassis. It's an off-road capable vehicle. It's not supposed to be as dynamic as a Porsche 911, but at the same time, compared to similar cars, this is below their standard. Now, as I said before, that engine and that motor, they have to work so hard to move this 2.6 ton vehicle. And that engine also has to charge the battery at times too if you're not using the regenerative braking all the time. And that really puts a massive dent in your fuel economy. Okay, fuel economy. Now, GWM says the Tank 500 with its petrol-electric hybrid system should use 8.5 litres per 100 kilometres. Now, I have not been able, month in, month out, over the last 3 months, been able to get better fuel economy than about 15 litres per 100 kilometres. And you'll see our on-test fuel economy right there. That's almost double what GWM says you should get. Now you've got an 80-litre tank, which sounds huge, and it is big compared to a lot of vehicles I drive, but at the same time you go through that so quickly, and the most I've been able to get out of that tank is about 560 kilometres. That's not a lot of range for a hybrid vehicle, a petrol hybrid vehicle. Now I'm told that it's not just about being a hybrid vehicle, that the hybrid system is there also to add more power and increase the output, but at the same time, gosh, you have to push this car to try and get that output. And I'm not even talking about towing yet. We've only just had 2 adults and 2 children on board. Imagine your fuel economy with a caravan on the back. Brake towing capacity, by the way, is 3,000 kilograms, which is a bit lower than what a LandCruiser Prado has got. So yes, fuel economy. If you're traveling and you're towing, you better be towing a petrol tanker. The GWM Tank 500 has got a 5-star, a maximum 5-star ANCAP rating, which is great. And it's got plenty of safety tech. It's got AEB, it's got rear cross traffic alert with braking, it's got lane keeping assistance, it's got blind spot warning, it's got a center airbag. That's all fantastic. And what is not fantastic are the driver alerts. Now there's a fatigue detection system, there's a speed zone recognition system, and there's also a distraction recognition system, and all 3 of them are really annoying. Now, they're really annoying because we have got the car which has not got the updated software. So if you're buying a Tank 500 now, chances are it will have the updated software. And if you are driving the one that I've got now, the pre-software update version, GWM tell me that you can have your software updated. But the car that I'm testing, as I said, doesn't have the updated safety tech software for the driver alerts, and it is outrageously annoying. Very frustrating, constantly being reminded that you're not focused on the road when you absolutely are. Even when you look either side to see if somebody's crossing the road at a pedestrian crossing, it will go off. The fatigue system will go off if you laugh and you open your mouth too loud. If you go ha 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 ha, it will tell you.
Please take a break.
It will tell you to take a break because it thinks you're yawning. And the traffic sign, speed sign recognition system is overly fussy as well. You only have to go 1 or 2 kilometers over the speed limit, which everybody.
Please take a break.
Which everybody does, and it triggers it. Even around shopping centre car parks where the speed is like 5 kilometers an hour, if you're going 6, it will start yelling at you.
Please take a break.
And you get constant messages like that. So, as I said, we're driving the car without the software update. Hopefully all that stuff has been fixed and it's not as intrusive, it's not as annoying. Now, when it comes to ownership costs, the GWM Tank 500 is covered by a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty. The battery itself is covered by a 8-year unlimited kilometre warranty.
Take a break.
Oh my gosh, you do get used to it. No, you don't. You don't get used to it. In terms of servicing, it needs servicing every 12 months and 10,000 kilometres. And there's cap price servicing as well, but it is a little bit on the pricey side. You're looking at about $2,700 over the course of 5 years. When I first started testing cars about 15 years ago, Kia, which makes outstanding cars now, was not making outstanding cars then. And this Tank 500 Ultra kind of reminds me of where Kia was 15 years ago. Now, I don't think it will take GWM 15 years to get to the point where they're making outstanding cars. They'll get there a lot faster, but I've encountered too many negatives with this Tank 500 Ultra over the last 3 months to make me want to buy one. There are better options out there for you.